The debate over the City of Superior's position or possible acquisition of utilities continues after SWLNP released findings from a recent cost study.
Yeah, tonight, Mayor Jim Paine pushing back, saying the city managing its own utilities will save money for residents.
SWLNP is a private company that has served the City of Superior for more than 100 years. Last year, the City of Superior expressed interest in taking over public utilities. Well, today, the company released findings from their feasibility study, alleging that it would cost the city more than $300 million to acquire them and to have Superior run their own utilities. The company has always expressed their disinterest in the takeover. SWLNP President Rob Sandstrom says it was important that they conduct the study to show the impacts of such an acquisition.
You know, really what we want to do is protect our customers and the community from spending $290 million on something they're already getting from Superior Water, Light and Power today.
Well, today, Mayor Jim Paine pushing back, calling the estimate from the private company significantly inflated. He says Superior residents have experienced years of overcharging from the company and says residents have described they have no control over their utility bills being too high.
What we know is that the costs they released today are more than double the actual value of that utility. But we're on to them. We are used to fighting them now, and the good news is they don't get to decide what this costs. The public will decide whether or not we buy this utility, and the Public Service Commission will set this rate, not.
Superior is the only city in Wisconsin with a privately owned utility provider. The city is looking forward to an independent analysis about the cost to take over in the coming months. All tonight, the Superior Community Coalition, which is an organization consisting of businesses, unions, and community leaders, say a brand new city-run utility would have to develop all new systems, and there's no guarantee they'd have any of the current skilled workforce to do it. They plan to advocate and educate the community this year about the costs and the risks associated to the proposed takeover of utilities.